5 non-negotiables about our body that affect our health. If you want to know what they are, then stick around. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. And today we are going to dive into the body and your health. So, this show is called Love My Body, Love Myself. And so one of the things that we endeavor to do here on the show is bring you information, experts, testimonials, whatever it is that will help you really connect to your own love of self, but also to the body that you're in. And so as spring is around the corner, I'm not around the corner, sorry, spring is here, summer's around the corner. As summer's around the corner, we're in spring, people start thinking about their beach bodies and getting healthy and getting ready to be more outdoors and wear shorts and everything. And so I thought this would be a great time to share this information with you. We have a guest that's been here before and gave us some amazing, fantastic information about our health and how to actually reboot and regenerate ourselves and reboot our health and our metabolism. He was here back in January and he's back here again tonight. And so he came today with, let me tell you, we're busting up some myths. We're busting up some, a whole lot of stuff. And some of it's a little harsh. So I hope you can take it. But I want you to stick around. I want you to share this with someone. Share this out with a friend, share this broadcast out because it is going to change the way you look at food, the way you look at diets, your health. It's going to change a lot of stuff for you. And so I'm super, I say I'm excited all the time, but I'm super duper excited to share this information with you. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're enjoying the content. If you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can go over to youtube.com/c/Alicia Couri and, share the love. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of stuff over there. Before I bring my guest on, I want to let you know that the Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Alicia Couri Inc. is a boutique consulting firm that specializes in the development of audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. If you find any of this information valuable, and I'm telling you, this is going to be so valuable to you, please share it out. Leave a comment. We're here live. This interview was previously recorded, but we are here live, and I'm sure Belldon is here live in the comments too. And we're here to answer any questions, comments. You can put them up, even if you're not watching live and you're watching, hashtag replay. Still, leave comments for us because we will go back and answer you in the comments and connect with you there. If you'd like to connect with me on any social media platform, you can go to alicia360.com and connect with me there. So we also have a Facebook group for Love My Body, Love Myself, and it's facebook.com/groups/LMBLM. So now, oh my gosh, this is so fabulous, this information that I'm about to share with you, that I'm going to drop on you today. And I want to tell you first a little bit about Belldon before I bring in this interview. So Belldon Colme, and I said it right this time. So he is a microbiologist. And it's really because he went through so many things previously in his life, suffering major heart attacks more than once. He was overweight and went back to school and studied microbiology. So he's a metabolic cellular biologist and biochemist. He founded Nutritional Fitness so that he can help other people really understand the body and the body mechanics and how it works. He's the author of the book, No One Ever Got Fat from Calories, and an international speaker. So, like I said, get ready, get ready, get ready. I want to see those comments light up. So here is my interview with Belldon Colme. Welcome back, Belldon Colme. I got it right this time.
Good to see you again, Alicia.
I am super excited to have you back because the last time we got a great response with your interview, and wanted to bring you back because you have some really amazing information that you wanted to share with us about the five non-negotiables about the body that we need to know so that we can operate in health.
And thank you very much for having me back, especially going into spring. And everybody's wanting to get that zip, right? Get the look.
And
get
the bikini body. And the bikini.
And the bikini body. And it's funny, we try so hard, but the things we're going to talk about today, if people just work with these things, it's going to go so much easier.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So talk, first of all, I want to make sure I give people your how to get in touch with you again. So this information that we're sharing with you on Love My Body, Love Myself, I want you, if you're interested, go to nutritional.fitness to get more information. And later on, we'll share some more about how you can actually talk with them more and get more information about these five non-negotiables. So let's jump into non-negotiable number one.
Thank you for that freebie too, man. You get a plug before we even get started. That's awesome. Body non-negotiables.
I treat my guests well.
I know. You're awesome. Body non-negotiables, just as a little bit of a preface, what we're going to talk about today are the five things in the body that aren't right or wrong. They aren't good or bad. They just are. It's our physiology. And if we recognize that they just are and we work in harmony with them, then our body will do that work for us of creating that look that we want, of creating the energy and the vitality and overcoming pain and illness, all of that. The body will do it for us if we pay attention to this. So non-negotiable number one is super, super, super important. And we hit on this last time we talked, and that's that the body is chemistry. And it's super important to know that. And you remember we talked about it before. Everybody understands this. It's just intrinsic knowledge to human beings. And if we understand it, then we need to treat the body like it's chemistry. And I don't mean put chemistry into it. Okay, we don't use that.
Don't go concocting something in a lab somewhere.
Yeah, we definitely don't need any of that. The body, all through its development, has gotten its chemistry from food. But chemistry is really, really simple. If we want the right reaction out of a chemistry experiment, we need to put the right things in to create that reaction, right?
Right.
And we need to keep the wrong things out because they'll pollute that reaction. And I want to talk about this one a second today because the way we think really messes us up here. And then the third thing is we need to get the right balance of ingredients for that reaction to happen, right? Right things in, wrong things out, right balance. That's all chemistry is. So if we're trying to lose weight and it's not happening, either we're not putting the right things in,
right,
or we're not keeping the wrong things out,
right,
or we're not achieving the right balance.
Or we don't have the right balance.
One of those three things. Guess the one that people mess up the most often.
Wrong things? Keeping the wrong things out.
Keeping the wrong things out. And so this is a great one to have a conversation about because we tell ourselves things like we need cheat days. We've got to have a cheat day. Or we tell ourselves we're only human, we're going to make mistakes. Or We got to have, certain things because they're our reward, whatever. We tell ourselves all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And when I was putting together the master class that we do on the 5 non-negotiables, it just dawned on me that this is the only place in our life we would ever even consider using this verbiage. Imagine if you went to your home builder and said, hey, you know what? Most of the wood that you have in this house is top notch. Listen, if you want to put 5% dry rot, termite infested lumber in here, that's okay. It deserves it. Right? Can you imagine saying something like that? Or I'm going to remodel my kitchen and every appliance is going to be brand new, but the dishwasher is just a little appliance. So if you want to get a skanky one out of the junkyard and put it in there, right? There is literally no place in our entire life that we would say a small percentage of the wrong stuff in is okay.
Right. You're
But we
absolutely right.
but we do
Except for
here.
our bodies.
We do here. Here we say a little bit's okay. Everything in moderation is all right. We're
Hmm.
only human, so we got to have this or that, right? And I literally had somebody tell me one time, Belldon, I don't want to live longer if it means I can't have. And he rattled off
Blah,
a
blah,
list of
blah.
things that he
Right.
had to have. And I'm like, nowhere else in our life would we accept language like that.
Hmm.
And
That's
we can't
true.
and we can't here either because just a little bit of the wrong chemistry messes it all up. For example, how many drops of blue dye would I have to put in my water for it to start changing color?
Just one.
Just one, right? And that's the way the chemistry of the body works. So, body non-negotiable number 1, we are chemistry.
Ooh, wait a second. Wait, let's not gloss over that one for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
because because so many times, and this is not to make anybody guilty or feel shamed or anything like that. Like we said, you qualified this. It's not right or wrong, it just is.
Uh-huh.
Um so like I heard someone said, as long as I can eat a salad, it's okay if I eat if I eat this other thing because it balances out, right? The
Uh,
salad balances out the chocolate cake or the ice cream. But you're like one drop of the wrong thing or one drop will pollute the whole thing.
mhm.
So that is like I needed a pause on that.
Pretty hardcore, right?
That is hardcore.
But the funny thing is it's really not. It's not hardcore, it's just a new way of thinking about it.
Mhm.
And we always ask ourselves, is this food healthy or is this food not healthy? And it's really not the right question to ask. The right
Right.
question to ask is, does this food serve me? Does it serve my goal for my body? Now, if a person can honestly raise their hand and say, my goal is to be exhausted every day of my life and to get sick a lot, then
And
yes.
then it's meeting your goal. Okay, so here's another question then around that. What about, some people eat for emotional comfort, which is not necessarily the best way to eat, but if it's serving them emotionally, it's not serving them physically, how do they then make that switch to find the right thing so it's not comforting them emotionally?
This is probably not surprisingly the number one challenge that we have with our one-to-one clients here at Nutritional Fitness. It's not the food. I mean, if we could give people a food list and everybody said, cool, that's great, we could solve so many problems in the world like that on a
Mhm.
sheet of paper. But that's not what stops people up. What stops people up is the emotional connections that have been made to food. Now, I almost said, and I used to say, the emotional connections we make to food, but the thing is, we don't make them.
Mhm.
Big food companies use something called classical conditioning. And if you've ever heard of Pavlov and Pavlov's dog,
Yes, yes.
Pavlov taught us how to do this. And it's super, super, super easy. So easy that a new food product can get ingrained in your psyche and connected to your emotions in less than a week. Less
Wow.
than a week. But the cool thing is, it's really simple, which means we can do it to ourselves too if we just understand it. And if we understand it, we can prevent food companies from having that influence on us. But
Like,
when
and
we,
it's everywhere though. Yeah,
oh, it
it's
is
everywhere.
ubiquitous. It's
It's everywhere.
ubiquitous.
Because I never understood why people would get a tub of ice cream if they broke up with somebody. Like they had that bad breakup and would eat ice cream. Like I would never eat ice cream. I had a bad breakup. That does not comfort me whatsoever. I'm like, that's
Alicia, I
ridiculous.
can stand in a room of 3,000 people and say, everybody just shout it out. What do you want to have when you're depressed? And you're only going to hear two things: chocolate and ice cream,
Ice cream.
or chocolate ice cream. But out of a room of 3,000 people, more than 80% of the people are going to shout out exactly the same thing. And I can say, what do you have at a ballpark? Everybody's
Hot
going to shout
dog
out hot dogs and beer,
and
right?
beer. Right.
And I can literally give any place, any emotion, any event, and 80% of the audience will shout out exactly the same thing.
Hmm.
Not because it's in our DNA, but because we're all conditioned the
We've
same
been
way
conditioned to it. Right.
by the movies and the TV that we watch. And it's not
Mhm.
just the advertisement, it's product placement
It's
in
product
movies.
placement in movies. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's billboards. It's
Everywhere.
like you said, it's ubiquitous. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. But the thing is, if you know how it works, then it can't work
Control you.
on you.
Mhm.
Exactly. If you know how it works, it can't work. If you don't know how it works, then it happens so easily that when you learn it, you can condition your kids. That use this wisely.
Right.
Powerful. But
Right.
you
Exactly.
you can condition other people. But the first thing to adjusting emotional connections. Okay. When we feel emotions, we're going to feel emotions. That's not right or wrong or good or bad either. It just is, right?
Mhm.
Emotions happen. What happens next? We can either take charge of that and wire our emotions to something that serves us, or we can let them be wired by other people to things that don't serve us. And if you don't mind, I'd like to give just one tip for
Mhm.
people to start rewiring those connections.
Please. Yes.
Cool. One thing is to change a word. If we change one word, this process starts in a very positive way. And that's to stop calling food comfort.
Mm.
You go and you eat food and it feels good while you're eating it. And let's be honest, 5 minutes after we're done eating it, we feel worse than when we started because now we have shame and guilt on top of it. And so we go right back for more comfort. We're driven to it.
Mhm.
And now we feel more shame and guilt. So we need comfort even more. And what do? We're driven right back to it.
It's a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. But the thing to understand is if we had a relationship with a human being where we sought comfort from somebody that was incapable of giving comfort back, or that was incapable of loving us, or was incapable of appreciating or helping us, we would be told we're in a toxic relationship. You have
Yep.
to get out of that.
Yep.
Food has no capacity to love.
To
It
comfort.
has no capacity to care. It has no capacity for a moral forbearance or a moral platform. Food
No.
is an inanimate object, and to seek comfort from an inanimate object, go out in the driveway and grab a rock.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, it's
it
we're
is
killing
in.
all the sacred cows today.
I know, right? But if we change that one word, and if we just stop calling food comfort because it's not.
Hmm.
If you
That's
hug
marketing again, like you said in the first episode when back
first
in January.
first time the
It's
phrase came out.
all
Yeah,
marketing. It's all marketing.
1973 in a marketing campaign.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if,
Yep.
if you have a dog or a cat, hug your dog or cat because they're capable of giving something back. And tomorrow you won't regret it,
Yeah. There
right?
you go.
If you have a friend, hug that friend, right? Because a year from now, you're going to remember the hug from that friend and say, you know what, you got me through a rough time.
And not that piece of pie.
Exactly. So let's change that one word,
No more comfort food.
and we're going to start moving our emotional process down the right path, just like that.
Excellent. So
By the
let's
way, I had a client who I had this conversation with, and I asked her, I said, what would your husband do? Just honestly, because I don't know him. right?
Hmm.
I don't want to give you advice when I don't know him. I said, what would your husband do if you went to him and you said, babe, I am so emotionally just effed up and I need a hug. Can you just give me a hug? What would he do? And she said, oh my God, he would be so into it and so grateful that I did that to him. And she came back to me a week later and she said, I did it, Belden. I did it. I went to him and he looked surprised at first. And then he was everything I needed in that moment.
No,
So let's take
wonderful.
comfort where comfort should be.
That's, yeah. Let's put comfort where people where it can actually give us comfort and not.
Amen. Amen.
So let's go into tip number two.
Body non-negotiable number 2. Super, super, super important. The foundation of the body is energy. Now, here we're not talking about emotional energy. We're not talking about the energy we get from meditation. We're definitely not talking about the energy we get from coffee. We're talking about ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the literal energy power plant of every cell of our body. Now, here's the thing. If this energy isn't working and you can feel that on the outside, it's hard to keep your eyes open, your brain, your thinking is fuzzy,
Hmm.
you don't have the energy to get up and move. If you're feeling lack of energy on the outside, your body is going sideways on the inside where you can't feel it because healing, repairing cells, replacing cells, building a strong immune system, fighting off disease, having a strong cardiovascular system, all uses the exact same ATP that you use to keep your eyes open, to think, to flex your muscles, and to do all these things.
Yeah.
And if you're losing energy on the outside, you're losing energy on the inside too. And
Wow.
that means you may not be sick today, but your body cannot heal itself at the highest, best level. You will be sick years down the road. Conversely,
Wow.
conversely, we get our energy back. And again, I'm not talking about coffee. I'm not talking about the artificial stuff that we do that crashes. Yeah, I'm with you. Just remember this, fake energy crashes.
Yeah.
If you drink coffee, you crash. If you take a
Sugar crash.
energy tablet, you crash. If you go to the gym, you crash. If you crash, it's fake energy. Real energy in the body, ATP, if it's working properly, does not crash. It's
All right.
there all the time. If you're awake, if you're asleep, whatever you're doing, it's there all the time. And if you feel that on the outside, then your body has what it needs to heal on the inside. And that's body non-negotiable number 2. If you're doing a crash diet and it leaves you feeling exhausted and fatigued, you're doing the wrong thing to your body.
Mm.
If you're doing something for energy and it's leaving you crashed later in the day, you're doing the wrong thing for your body. Whatever you do has to leave you feeling energized 24 hours a day. If
Even
it
when you sleep.
Now, see, this is a funny thing because we don't sleep for rest and we think we do. I got to go sleep because I got to get my energy back. No. When you fall asleep at night, I think we talked about this a little bit in January too. When you fall asleep at night, you are using more of the ATP in your body than you use when you're awake. Now, think
To
about it.
regenerate.
To repair those cells, to replace those cells, to build up your immune system, to do all of this work. And if you think about this in the day, we do what? We dig a hole and we lean on our shovel,
Yeah.
right? We think a little while, and when the brain hurts, we play some brain dead game that doesn't require any thought
Right.
until we feel right. This is how we work through the day, on and off. We conserve energy. At night, there are periods where our body is actually paralyzed so that
Mm.
the body can do that work of repairing and replacing cells without you moving and twisting and messing up the process so that it can do all that work. And it does that work non-stop all through the night.
Mm.
And
There we go.
even your
I'm just
brain. Yeah.
asking the questions.
Amen.
Thank you.
Even
Let's take a quick break before we continue. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Hey, so wow, wow, wow. I'm, those first two hurt me a little bit. So let me know in the comments how you felt about non-negotiable number one. The body is chemistry. Right things in, wrong things out, correct balance. If you put just a little bit of the wrong thing in, you're not doing yourself any favors. And then the foundation of the body is energy. So if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling drained, if you're not um, feeling energized throughout the day, there is something else going on that we need to investigate. So I can't wait for the other three tips. So stick around. This is Love My Body, Love Myself. And let's hear from our sponsor. The Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Alicia Couri Inc. specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. Visit our website, aliciacouri.com, for more information. The show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you'd like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence, visit our link tree at linktr.ee/acouri. Let's get back to the show. And we are back with Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and today's guest, Belldon Colme, with Nutritional Fitness, is sharing the 5 non-negotiables. Oops, I left this up. Body is energy. He's sharing the 5 non-negotiables about the body. They're not right nor wrong. They just are. So let's get back to that interview. And just so you know, that interview is pre-recorded. It was previously recorded, and I am here live though. So I am here live. So if you have any comments or questions, I see we have another comment. Thank you so much. Says you produce an amazing show. This is fabulous. I love immediate actionable tips I can apply right away now to make audacious change. Yay! I love that. And we had a comment from Philip that said, proper balance is so critical to proper health. We are chemistry. Yes, our body, we are chemistry. So I'm super excited to get back to the rest of this interview. We are going to do tip number 3, 4, and 5. So get ready, get ready, get ready. Welcome back. Welcome back to Love My Body, Love Myself. I am here with Belldon Colme, and I want to share with you, if you want to find out more, please go to nutritional.fitness to check them out, because he's dropping some major nuggets on us here. And we're going through the 5 non-negotiables of the body. Right now, we're up to number 3. So Belldon, what is the number 3 non-negotiable?
I really like what you just put in the marquee there, and I want to repeat it. Remember, none of this is right or wrong. None of it's good or bad. None of these are moral judgments in any way, shape, or form. They just are. It's our physiology, right?
Yeah.
Body non-negotiable number 3. The body will hoard everything if it doesn't have what it needs. But the flip side of that is also true. If the body has what it needs, it will literally throw away everything that it doesn't need. So if we're struggling trying to lose excess body fat and we're sitting there going, come on, body, you don't need that stuff. Yeah, what aren't we giving the body? Because if it has what it needs, it will throw away what it doesn't. And this kind of goes back to non-negotiable number 1, right? We are chemistry.
Yeah.
Get the right things in, keep the wrong things out, achieve the right balance. The body now has what it needs, and the body will throw away what it doesn't. We don't need to burn weight. And if you've been trying to burn body fat, you've probably been trying over and over and over again over a period of decades, and you're still frustrated by that approach. But if you just give the body what it needs, right?
Okay. So I totally believe that because there are so many people. I mean, I learned this a long, long time ago about fat. And if your body, if you don't eat regularly, your body feels like it's starving and it'll hold on to fat. It'll hoard the fat. And so some people who are overweight, they say, well, I don't eat much and I don't eat. It's like you're starving your body. So it's going to hold on to whatever it has to keep, it'll hoard exactly what you said. It will hoard it because you're not feeding it enough.
Yeah,
So that is so true. And it'll get rid of everything that it doesn't need if you're giving it, if it's getting what it needs.
100%, 100%. We're learning more and more and more as science digs deeper and deeper into the body that the mind is the body and the body is the mind. We're
Hmm.
learning these connections are indelible. So it shouldn't surprise us to learn that our body would do the same thing we would do in a given set of circumstances. So if you can just picture yourself for a moment in a submarine at the bottom of the ocean, your engines have quit, you're in a cylinder tube with limited resources, and you don't know when you're going to be saved. What are you going to do with all of your resources? What are you going
Listen, you have just described my most panicking moment. Like I was just
to Now, I
because
want
I
you
have
to,
a little bit of claustrophobia. So
yeah,
being, first of all, being stuck in a submarine, no
at,
way out. I'd
at
use up
all,
all
let
the
alone when
oxygen
you're
in 5 minutes. So that's
right.
not a good example for me because I'd go into panic mode.
It kind of is though, because when you go into panic mode, and it's a perfectly normal thing to do, when you go into panic mode, what do you do with your resources? You hoard them. And if
Yes.
you don't believe that people hoard everything when they panic, look at what happened to toilet paper at the start of COVID. Okay. We hoard everything. So a submarine captain is taught two things. If you get in an emergency situation, you first of all lock up your resources
Right.
because
You save
people
your
steal
oxygen.
them and hide them, right?
Hmm.
And the second thing you do is you lock it up with a second key and give that to somebody who's trained to not even trust you because
Mm.
you will hoard things too. And to get into that room now requires two
Two
keys and
keys.
everything gets rationed out. So we, if we're in an emergency situation, will automatically hoard everything if we're afraid we don't have what we need. And your
Hmm.
body does exactly the
The
same
same
thing.
thing.
The body
Wow.
is the mind and the mind is the body. If the body doesn't have what it needs, it will hoard everything. But you give it what it needs and it will throw away what it
But
doesn't
it
need
doesn't need.
very,
Yeah.
very quickly. You rescue those men in the submarine. How many of them do you suppose go and take all of those hoarded supplies with them? None of them.
None. They don't need it.
Don't
They
need
don't
it.
need it.
Leave it
Right.
behind. Don't even care.
They
And your
don't need
body
that.
will do the same thing. So, body not non-negotiable. Number three, if you give your body what it needs, and by the way, what we're describing is malnutrition.
Hmm.
When the body doesn't have what it needs, it doesn't matter how much you eat. It matters what you eat.
Hmm.
Because if the body doesn't have what it needs, not volume, if it doesn't have what
Hmm.
it needs, it will hoard everything. But if it does, if we follow number one, the body will throw away
What it
what it
doesn't
doesn't
need.
need.
Which is why when you take a lot of vitamins, you have expensive pee because it's just your body can't absorb all of that all
The
the
body
time.
doesn't even know what a vitamin is. Doesn't even know what a vitamin is. If it doesn't have the context of the food that it belongs in, the body has nothing to read. It has no
Mm.
way to know what that is, right? So, yeah, you're absolutely right on that one.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. I got something wrong. Body non-negotiable number 4.
Number four might surprise you. You cannot heal your body, and neither can your doctor, and neither can anybody else. Now, it's important that you hear what comes next. The body heals itself.
Mm.
We cannot heal the body. The body is designed and engineered to heal itself. And if we support that process, then the body will heal itself faster, better, stronger, with more resiliency and more immunity than you could ever imagine.
Mm.
But if we try to heal the body, or we try to have our doctor heal the body, we will be eternally frustrated with
Wow.
chronic pain, chronic disease, chronic inflammation, and problems of all sorts,
Yeah.
because nobody can heal the body. It can only heal
It's
itself.
boom.
Remember this. And
Yeah.
again,
And that's what it was designed to do.
that's what it's designed to do. So our job here is to understand that and to support the body in that process. And there's a number of things that we can do that I'd love to share today. There's a number of things that you can do to right away start supporting the process. And one is to stop shutting your body up.
Mm.
Oh, I have a headache. Well, shut that up. I'm going to take a pill for that and take my ass back to work. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
my whole body, my muscles hurt. Well, can't have that. We have Dayquil for that. Let's take a
Mm-hmm.
drug and feel better so I can go back to work. Right?
Mm.
I have a stomach ache. Oh no, you can't do. Here, we have some stuff to shut that up. How much time do we spend shutting our body up, when it's
Wow.
really just trying to tell us how to support it?
So, a quick story about that, because my children, from the time they were born, I always believe that a fever is your body telling you something, and it's trying to fight it off. So I would never give my kids, well, not never ever, but I rarely gave them Tylenol or ibuprofen or anything to shut the fever down unless it got dangerously high.
Hmm.
I would use cold compresses or something to keep their body cool, but allow that process to work through itself, because the body is trying to fight off whatever it is that it's attacking it. And so, yeah, I know people might look at me now and say, "Hey, what did you do to your children?" That was, but I just believe that the body, that's what the immune system was designed to do. And a fever is just an indication that something is happening in the body. And sometimes it was just growing pains. They weren't in a fever because they were sick. Their
Hmm.
body was growing. And so it was, going through that process, or a tooth coming out or something like that as they were children. That's not something wrong with them. It's the body's form of growth. So they didn't, unless it got really, like I said, really high, then I would call the pediatrician and give them something if it was really high. But other than that,
And you
prayer and
want,
cold compress.
when you go to a doctor, you want to choose a doctor that understands this body non-negotiable, because you want a doctor who will support your body. I remember my kid's doctor, when they were sick, he'd say, take them home, get them some rest. If the fever tops 103, we need to do something, because that is dangerous.
Hmm.
But take them home, get them lots of rest, give them lots of fluid.
Lots of fluid. Yep.
And he would tell me how to support their body in healing.
Yep. Lots of fluid,
It's
vitamin C.
It's much different today, where you go into the doctor and they say, here's a thing to get rid of the pain. Here's a thing to get rid of the discomfort. Here's a thing to
Hmm.
shut your body up.
Hmm.
But if you shut your body up and you don't listen to it, and even worse, you then push your body at a time it really needs you to rest and let it heal,
Mm.
then
Yeah.
you're actually making your disease last longer. You're
Hmm.
making it dig in deeper. You're
Mm.
you're tying your body's hands behind its back and not
Wow.
letting it do its job. The body heals itself. You can't do it.
Yes,
So
you can. You have to allow it,
we have to.
give it what it needs,
Hmm.
to support that healing. I love that. I love, love, love that. All right. Are we ready for number 5?
I'm going
Drum
to
roll.
warn you, people get mad at me on this one.
Oh, I do need a drum roll on this one.
Of the 5 non-negotiables, this is the one that people get upset about.
Okay. So
Okay.
when you're getting upset and you're writing, don't write to me. I want you to go to nutritional.fitness. Go to nutritional.fitness and you can
Oh,
write to them.
I
give,
love it. I love
give
it. I
me
love
number 5. Give me
it.
number
Okay,
5.
here we go. Here we go. Number 5, your body's physiology does not care what you think or how you feel about what it needs. It simply is. Now, I bring this up as a non-negotiable number 5. People are like, Belton, has nothing to do with body physiology, but it does. Because what do we argue about out here? Well, should I have all meats and no carbohydrates, or should I
Mm,
be plant-based and have all carbohydrates and no meats? And the thing is, when you have debates like this, your body's physiology doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care what you feel. It doesn't care what layers of morality that we put on things.
right.
It simply is. And if we support what is, then we're going to fare much better
Hmm.
than if we don't support what is. And this brings me back to a definition of common sense that I absolutely love, that I heard many, many, many years ago. It said, common sense is the knack of seeing things as they are and doing things as they ought to be done. And I love this definition for one reason. It starts with seeing things as they are.
Mm. No
Because
judgment.
we put layers and layers and layers of morality and judgment and everything on top of what is, to the point
Mm.
where we can't see it accurately. If we
Wow.
can't
Yep.
see it accurately, then we can't possibly do what needs to be done because we can't see what is.
Mm.
So the first 4 are seeing what is. Number 5 is doing things as they ought to be done. And the only way that's going to serve us at the highest level is to give the body what it needs for what is.
Yeah. I've loved this conversation. This has been fascinating, and I know we're probably going to get a lot of comments because this has been pre-recorded. And please drop your comments, drop your questions, drop them all in there, as I said at the beginning. But because as many times as we can have Belden come back on, he will. I'm just saying that.
We could do a whole show just of everyone's questions that they send in.
Right? We can do just a show of all your questions, because this year, in 2022, we really want to make sure and beyond that you are doing what's right for your body, to love your body and love yourself, because this is what the show's all about. And it's why this focus on health and nutrition is so important, because without allowing your body to operate in its natural form, to function in the way it's been created to function. I had a pastor who, that was always part of our prayer, to pray. He said, well, let's have an organ recital. And we used to pray over all our organs in our body and command it to function in the perfection with which it was created to function. And so anytime I pray over my food or anything else, I command it to function, that my body functions to the perfection it was created to function, because your body was created to function perfectly. And so this is what this conversation is all about. Your body is chemistry. And so write things in, wrong things out, right combination. That's what Belden has been saying. Your body's chemistry, and so we need to make sure that we're giving it what it needs to operate optimally. So thank you.
I love the prayer. We've been binge watching Fast and Furious here. And at the end of every prayer, it doesn't matter who's giving grace. It always says, and most of all, thank you for fast cars, right?
Yeah.
But that car wouldn't be so fast if you didn't put the right stuff in the tank. And
That's
while
right.
we're praying or we're saying grace, we want the best for our body and our health. Everybody does. We want the best. Are we
Don't put
willing?
sugar in that gas tank.
Yeah. Are we willing to put the right stuff into the body to get the answer to that prayer? Because if we are, we can have it.
Right. And again, no judgment. Nobody's judging you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no judgment of food. Food is not comforting you. Get that out of your language.
And food is not good or bad. It's not right or
It's
wrong.
not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. And I
It
love what you
simply
said
is.
back in January. Said we're the only species that will look at something and call it junk and put it in our face.
Or say, and
So I know this is good for me, but I'm going to eat it anyway.
a great way to bring that right back to the beginning of this conversation, though, Alicia, is what other part of your life would you ever be willing to say that to? Oh man, I got 3 good tires on my car. That fourth one doesn't need to be good.
Done. It could be bald and torn and
Yeah. There's just literally no other part of our life where we would say
Mhm.
that. Why
Where
do we
it's acceptable.
why
Yeah,
do we say it here?
because the marketing machine has manipulated us into believing
Hmm.
that we need it, that we
Hmm.
need that in our lives to be happy.
Or that we deserve it, which is even
Oh,
worse.
we deserve it. We need it and we deserve it. Yeah, to be happy, but we
Mhm.
don't. So thank you so much. So listen, there's the masterclass. Let's just touch on that really quickly for anyone who's interested in finding out more and learning more about the 5 non-negotiables about the body.
Hit our website and scroll to the bottom, and you'll see a link to the master site or masterclass. Or if you want to talk to us directly, go to chatwithnf.com, and we'd be happy to talk to you about your circumstances and what the future can hold for you.
Thank you so much, Belden. So that's chatwithnf.com. So check it out. Thank you for giving us your time again in this amazing episode. And leave your questions, leave your comments. So thank you, Belden.
Thank you, Alicia.
See you next time.
Take care.
Woo! I'm still trying to recover from all of that. So I put it in the chat. I put the 5 non-negotiables, but I'm just going to go over them again with you really quickly. Number 1, the body is chemistry. Again, like we said, right things in, wrong things, keep the wrong things out. We're looking for the right balance. The second thing is the foundation of the body is energy. So that was in the first part of the conversation. And then after the break, we talked about how the body will hoard everything if it doesn't get what it needs. And Belden made a very important point that it's not about volume, it's not about consuming a lot, it's about giving it what it needs. And so it's about quality over quantity. And then non negotiable number 4 is you cannot heal your body, the body heals itself. So we have to support the healing of the body by, again, giving it the right things that it needs. And number 5, your body's physiology doesn't care what you think or feel it needs. So that one, I think we have to go to actually chatwithnf.com and find out more about tip number 5 from him. And so to connect with Belden, go to chatwithnf.com. The website again, if you want to know more, and if you want to check out their the masterclass, or it's nutritional.fitness. So check that out. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for watching. This show was brought to you by the Love My Body, Love Myself show is brought to you by Alicia Couri Inc. It's sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. If you'd like to be a sponsor of any of our shows, or if you'd like to be a guest of any of our shows, you can just send us an email and we will get right back to you. So you can email support@aliciacouri.com, support@aliciacouri.com, and that way we can either book you as a guest if you'd like to be a guest on Love My Body, Love Myself, or if you'd like to sponsor one of the shows. You know, we have multiple shows on Red Carpet CEO. This is one, Love My Body, Love Myself. The other one is Small Business Saturday Shout Out, and that is on a Saturday. So I have quite a busy travel schedule coming up. So um, there may be some interruptions in the Small Business Saturday Shout Out show, but you know, you'll always see my promos for it. So follow me on social media. So connect with me. The best way to connect with me is if you go to alicia360.com. If you go there, you can connect with me on all social media sites so you won't miss any of the notifications when we go live, and you can share that out with everybody. I certainly hope, and I would love for you to share this episode out with others. You know, just hit that share button share it with others who can benefit from this information, because it can really change the way you look at your health, look at your life, look at how you are supporting your body. And it's it's really important information. So please share this out with others. And again, you can join our group on Facebook. It is facebook.com/groups/LMBLM. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love that. You can go to youtube.com/C/Alicia Couri. We got this show, we've got the podcast, we have a lot of other content there as well. And so if you want to know more as well, we have a show called Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. If you want to know more about boosting your confidence, you can check us out on Mondays on Win Win Women Network. So that's winwinwomen.tv, and you can check that out. Oh my gosh. Look at those 5 non-negotiables. They're in the chat, and see if I just put lipstick on my teeth, and see if you are in alignment with those. And if you're not, where can I get alignment with those 5 non-negotiables for our bodies? So my guest again was Belldon Colme. If you want to check them out, you can get a free consultation at chatwithnf.com, or go to nutritional.fitness, and there's a button there that you can chat with them there as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love the comments, love the text messages that I got as well. if you didn't want to comment and you left me a text, thank you. And I will see you next time on another episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everybody. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you then. Thank you.